Climate change occurs when changes in Earth's climate system results in new weather patterns that remain in place for an extended period of time. This length of time can be as short as few decades to as long as millions of years. An overwhelming scientific consensus maintains that climate change is due primarily to the human use of fossil fuels, which release carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the environment, highlighting that climate change causes extreme high air temperatures, contributing directly to death from cardiovascular, natural disasters and variable rainfall patterns. The CEO Media Challenge Initiative noted that the climate change factors are of public concern since it affects development, hence urging students and journalists to be key players in the struggle to restore the environment.
This year, one of the most pressing issues the world is facing is climate change, and everyone is talking about that, not because of the debates going on in the world, but because it's a reality, it's happening. As an agriculture country, you know how much the food basket is being impacted because of either rains or the drought. So, and the role of a journalist is very important because you're the one that will change the community through the stories that we tell. So we may be developing younger journalists, but we also provide opportunities for journalists like you to also improve on the already existing knowledge that you have about these issues.
Highlighting that human activities like housing, deforestation have been key in distorting environments due to pressure caused by the increasing population. The representative from the Office of the Prime Minister has noted that as key players they have embarked on several measures of restoration to ensure the climate is harmonized.
We are seeing warming temperatures, and what is the cause of this? It is our human activities. We are using fossil fuels more. Deforestation is on the rise. Wetland destruction is also on the rise. So all those are causes.
Scientists had predicted effects in the past would result from global climate change are now occurring, such as loss of sea ice, accelerated sea level rise, and longer, more intense heat waves. The range of published evidence indicates that the net damage costs of climate are likely to be significant and to increase over time. Addressing journalists today, the representative of civil society organizations has called on publics to engage in the process of the restoration of the climate in Uganda.
Very well in terms of policies. The challenge is how far is the implementation. That we do not know. So we each have a role to play, and I think that journalists have a very, very important role to play. One is to communicate the causes of climate change, the impacts of climate change, but very importantly, like the MCI's interest is, what are the solutions? What can we do about it? Many people are doing something around climate change, but because they are not aware about it.
Embarking on teaching several students and journalists on how best to report and share knowledge on the matters of climatic change, the Media Challenge Initiative is hosting an expo under the theme Strengthening Resistance on Climate Change, whose topics are entailed around climate change, and urged all students from all the universities to participate and learn how to report matters environment. Shamim Nabakoza, Godwin Kaizi for Speak Uganda, Record TV.
We felt it right to talk about climate change. If it is the only planet we got, then it is upon all of us to see that we actually save it. That is an initiative from the Media Challenge Initiative, saying that they have started in partnership with the Office of Prime Minister, looking at how they would address climate change. I told us every one of us can do whatever is within his or her abilities to see that we save this planet we got. And yes, we have young people who are so passionate about climate change, as well as very legit minds to discuss climate change. That is from the Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network. And I believe it is important if they actually say hello to our viewers as we start off today's discussion concerning climate change, is real, as well as analyzing these changing trends. And we'll start with Shadia. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Here on the Daybreaker Show, actually said it is important to put some good in people's morning, and they would want to know who is this person putting some good in their morning.
Yes, I'm Shadia. I'm from the Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network, and I am the outreach coordinator. Yes, we advocate for climate.
You advocate for climate?
Yes, climate change. Yeah, we want to see a different nation, because if you look at our climate today, it's not good like before. We have very many changes.
So we need to actually restore it.
Yes, we have to.
Same gentleman, sir. Yes. Welcome to the Daybreaker Show.
Good
We would
morning.
like to know who you are and your stand as far as climate change is actually concerned.
By start, I'm Derek Mugisha. I'm the team leader, Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network, and the Earth Day Coordinator 2020. I work with young people, and I've worked with young people for more than 5 years in this climate change space and discussing biodiversity.
You worked with young people of how many years?
5 years. I started doing my work when I was in secondary.
Yeah.
We used to have clubs doing a lot of work, and when I went to the university, I still did an environmental course called environmental science, and got more knowledge about what we are talking about, the biggest issue of our time, of this generation, and what we are facing as young people, because the future belongs to us.
The future belongs to you, the young
Yeah.
people. Yes, and if you look at a country like Uganda, 78% of our population is young people. So as young people, what is not working out? We see climate change spreading like wildfire each passing day. What are we doing? What are we not doing right?
What we're not doing right, first, I would say young people are not the cause of climate change today. The climate started changing 50 years back and even more years because of the different activities that were happening in our communities, the different human activities that we're taking, the unsustainable farming practices that were happening in our communities where we come from. Industries being set up without any bit of, any bit of mitigation or adaptation strategies. We just see, government also taking long even to enact the climate change bill into law. So these are some of the issues that scare us as young people. We are seeing a very rise in the global, surface temperatures, and this scares our future because the more it's hot, you can't even move out to play as a young person.
You cannot move out to play Shadia. Yes. You are nodding in agreement. Are you in agreement with what Derek is putting
Yes,
forward, that
absolutely.
climate change is real? What is our role as young people in this fight? As you, the outreach coordinator for Biodiversity Network?
As he has said, we are the future. So if we just sit and don't do something, that means the future is going to be destroyed. And we see that the climate is part of us. So if it's endangered, it is going to endanger us as well. So we have to rise up as youths and take action and do something about it. If we just sit down, then we are going to lose out our nation.
We are going to lose out our nation if
Yes.
things do not work out.
Yeah.
Derek, if you talked about sustainable environment,
Yes.
but we must look at the policy practices we have which are actually sustainable. Which are these sustainable environment practices that can actually push us forward?
Now, the first thing is it's not a must for you to drive your car every day going to work. You can use a bicycle. You can walk back home.
Can one use a bicycle?
Yes, you'll find that it's something doing exercise as well. You're trying to help us reduce our emissions. The other thing you can do, you can plant some trees. On your birthday, if you're celebrating your 20th birthday, why not plant 20 trees? If you're getting married, why don't you celebrate your marriage with planting trees? You saw Rema do plant some trees.
Yes, Rema and Hamza was a good thing.
Yes,
Very good.
they did something.
It was very, very good. Yeah.
When I tell this,
When someone dies, you should plant a tree. When you give birth, you should plant a tree.
and in
Yes.
that way you're saving the environment.
Yes.
When I tell these people that I'm so passionate about planting trees, there is a way they feel it is a joke. Yet it is serious stuff.
is serious.
This climate change is real. Sustainable environment. When you talked about that young people, Derek says that young people, not only young people, okay, the focus because climate change is
Yes.
affecting all of us. This is the planet we live. Elders as well as we, the young people. Then my question to Shadia, from your perspective and look at things in Uganda, do you see a young person who has made it in life use a bicycle and instead of using a car?
It's because they do not know, they are not educated about the importance of probably using a bicycle. Because first of all, it helps you health-wise, and it is also helping on our climate. Because we see if everyone has a car, they're going to pollute the what? The environment, and it is going to be endangered. But at least if some are using a bicycle, then maybe we are saving something.
Like, are you using a bicycle yourself?
Yes, you find that I started using a bicycle. Every time I go back home, because I come from Machindi, I take a bicycle just around Queensway. And it's, if someone sees you putting on suits and moving around, you'll be like, no, but I'm trying to practice what I just talk about. And the other thing, we are seeing globally, young people waking up and striking on streets. We have seen Greta Thunberg putting governments on pressure. That's what we also need as young people. We can't just keep quiet. Because if only the climate change bill takes more than 2 years, and other issues to do with what political issues just pass through and go, what about something that secures our future? It's something that we really need to hold up to ourselves. And we need everyone, not only even young people, even old people, even religious leaders. We also need them to communicate because they do have the masses.
Even the media.
Even the media.
And now we are coming into the new year. Everyone is excited. But some are not. Some families have lost people. We have seen the Buddha. People have been dying about the landslide issues. We can't just continue being quiet as young people. We need to come out and say, no, enough is enough.
What is enough, Shadia? How much should we come up to say that, climate change, this is what we should...
Enough is enough involves us getting up and striking, like I said. Yes, if all youths come together and we go, if we really need the government to consider climate change, to put the environment budget forward, we should go and strike. Then too, you see, as Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network, we have an activity of planting trees. We went to Entebbe, that side, and we planted 2 million trees.
Exactly.
Were there 2 million? Yes. With the Buganda family.
Buganda, yeah.
Yes. So, if youths come up and join us and we do this, then that shows that we are doing something. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Yes.
There is one of the famous presidents of US who says, before you ask what your country has done for you, what have you done? You as a young person in this pursuit and
Yes.
fight about climate.
I will share my experience. As a young person, I've been moving to communities, educating them. We have moved to different communities, different districts, where they think you cannot. We have saved our own upkeep. The need we have as young people, and trying to see that we can move to far places where the message does not reach very well. And give them the skills they do need, the knowledge they do want, they require at the moment. Because we find that Uganda is covered by agriculture. Most of our economy is driven by agriculture. But how many even do know that unsustainable farming practices also lead to emission? Yeah, to unsustainable farming practices. You find that someone will plant only crops and remove all the trees. Yet, if you practice agroforestry, you do plant the trees, at the same time, do plant your crops. This mutual benefit, you get the food, you get the clean air you need in your community, you get the fresh air, when it gets hot, you move out of the trees. That's when you need them. But when a time comes, and you are the person in the disaster, you've seen the floods killing people, you've seen the heat waves chase people out of their own homes, and people are just buying SCs and saying, no, it's okay. And you've seen even the building sector, people just do not know even how to build very well.
They don't know how to build.
They cover everything. I don't leave room for nature to play their part. So we don't appreciate nature in some way.
We don't appreciate nature sometimes.
Yes.
Now, Shadia, we talked about strikes and we said, as young people, we must come up and say, no, enough is enough. As the world, as leaders, as people, as the media, you said everyone must play their role.
Yes.
Then there are some people who are in charge of policy making and everything. What should our governments do? What should our leaders do in this fight of climate change?
First of all, our leaders should join us as well. We were planning something. As the elections are coming, 2020, we want leaders, those ones that are coming in, to join us and have a badge. Yeah, of supporting climate change. We actually want to involve youths by telling them if someone is not siding with climate change, they should not be voted. Yes. So if they are together with us, that shows that we are doing something, because these are the policy makers. These are the ones that are going to give our voice out there. Yes.
So in other words, among the issues we must request of our to be leaders, we must ask them their stand on climate change. So if you are anti-climate change, please don't vote them.
Exactly.
Because in case we are saying that is not Stephen Mayombe saying, that is from the Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network. The young people, as we're discussing climate change, we say climate change is real. We are analyzing the changing trends in environment as we are wrapping up the year 2019, going closer to 2020. Before actually going for a commercial break, I want to tap into that. Young people, you see, if leaders, those ones who are not pro-climate change, they should as well not be voted into this.
Yeah, you know.
President Donald Trump of the United States of America,
yes,
believes climate change is a hoax. What is your say?
But again, if you've seen the typhoons, the cyclones happening everywhere, and he's losing people, he's losing lives. Do you think he's happy as a president? He's just being put on pressure because of the fossil fuel companies that do invest a lot of money into the economy, and he's scared about the economy because he doesn't know that if you balance the economy with the environment, you do develop a lot. You've seen China. China has invested in renewable energy, and you see how the economy is. And even Uganda, you see it's moving to renewable energy. Recently, the president was launching a big solar, plant somewhere in Masaka side. These are some of the commitments we need from leaders.
Those are some of the commitments we need from leaders. It is the Big Deal Breaker Show. The discussion as we are wrapping up 2019, it is climate change is real. We are analyzing the changing trends in environment, and it is Shadia Nachiviru and Derek Mugisha from the Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network to discuss climate change and give us perspective. Let's go in for a very short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Great news for DFCU Bank Investment Clubs, SACCOs, and Village Saving Groups. Now you can achieve more together with the DFCU Investment Club app. Make contributions, monitor your savings, request for loans, pay for loans, plan club activities, get reconciliation reports, and much more from wherever and whenever using a phone or tablet. Download the DFCU Investment Club app today from Google Play Store or App Store and experience how we are making more possible for you. For details, call 0800 222 000 toll free.
DFCU Bank, with pleasure.
Welcome to the Children's Parliament. You are almost welcome to today's proceeding. When is my motion coming? Honorable, sit down. Madam Speaker, I would like to first begin with a question. How effective are the environmental policies in Uganda? Somebody throws rubbish from a tax and people are quiet.
The government is not doing enough.
Listen, order.
No, but I've been requesting for the last 3 times. You've been shutting me down.
It all begins with us. We make the law and we should be accountable. Time is up.
In my heart I feel so real, still I feel the fire burning.
Oh, by the war, bit over.
Fresh and clean, good and clean. Chonchi da wax.
You're gonna take a kill in my love in a burning sea.
Ukija kama upepo utapepea, ukijifanya na mapepo tunakemea. Nakufuna na sala stress. Ela kukwata kwa baby ya police case. Zada, kunywa ndogo.
One man bend, don't get caught. Muwala weza kusena kumaba kwenye game.
Baby langako.
Mama, ebango body wanika. Body wanika. Good boy. Enter the drop. Mwenzako I feel so good. Nikikona au mwendo unafanya kusudi na ulivoshona.
It is the big daybreaker show that runs from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We give you a glimpse of what is transpiring in our papers, what made headlines in our bulletins, that is Speak Uganda, and on our we give you what is happening beyond our borders as a country. And yes, we bring you a topical discussion. Before we actually continue with climate change is real, analyzing the changing environmental trends, we need to applaud people who actually make it a point every time to watch the daybreaker show. Big up those ones of you who wake up every morning and you sit on your screens, but this time around, let's upload those ones who watch social media, that is on Facebook, Gift Spotless, Ashley Dixon, The Hook, Saifa Jr., Ronnie Tamwenya, Namoya Sarah, Noah Wapera, Kasasa Simon Peter, Ronnie Akirame, Hasko Hassan, Baka Monera, Chitone, Huda Edgar, Sentam Hasman, Mubiru Shafiq, Arafael Pius, and many of you out there. Thank you so much for keeping it Record Television. As always, say to invite is our brand, and putting some good in your morning is what we are focused on each passing day. Yes, climate change, and we are having young people as well as people who are so passionate about climate change. That is from the Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network. Derek Mugisha, yes. We are stressing a point as we are going for the break about leaders. Yes. That there are some leaders who do not appreciate climate change. And we said one of them, and we said no, it is because of the people who have invested so much in fossil fuel. You advise them to look at clean energy. What more should be done?
Yes, I think that's very important because, again, renewable energy, we are trying to save our energy and also trying to save the planet. But we are also not limited. Only that, we need to see our leaders, raise the budgets for the environment sector. This year's 2019 budget, 2020, you saw a cut in the environment sector, moving to 900 billion from 1.2 trillion. That's a big loss for the environment sector. It's as if we don't think about the next generation, don't think about tomorrow, don't think about what will our people eat in our communities. We don't think about the clean air. We don't think about the health of our citizens. So I think it's important with the government. Government is broadly talk about parliament, talk about the judiciary, because then we have cases that are forwarded to the judiciary. Someone has encroached on a wetland. Someone has degraded the forest. So we need everyone. We need leaders. Everyone is a leader in their space. Even if you don't hold a position, you're a leader. Just waking up and picking trash around your community, around your home. No signs of leadership. That's the spirit of environmentalism we're talking about.
When you talk about the spirit of environmentalism, what comes to my mind is community service. And this goes to Shadia. Shadia, there is some aspect of Bulungi once. Yes. You told me that you had Buganda. I remember the Rotary Club of Mackin West as well participated in the tree planting.
Yes.
So we want to know, why should people embrace community service? Why should people embrace this idea of Bulungi Wansi in this fight of climate change?
First of all, Bulungi Wansi, if I can bring it out nicely, there's a way you are attached to it. You feel like I've done something. You feel this is part of me. Yeah, if you wake up and get that broom and sweep that rubbish, or and pick those plastic bags, you're doing something for your environment as a person. So it brings that attachment. The person is concerned. Everyone is concerned. It's not about, for example, some people might say we are government, we are environment. Exactly. But if we are all participating, even the citizens, not only the organizations or the government, but everyone is participating. So they're attached to it. It is part of them. Yes, that is why it is good.
So in other words, people must have that some sort of attachment to loving their community, to ensuring that it thrives, to ensure that we pass it on as a baton to the next generation.
Yes.
That is, I'm also getting some facts from Shadia here as far as climate change is concerned, as well as some quotable quotes. Let's draw some attachment to climate. Derek, yes. As we look forward in this fight for climate change, we've made so much noise, we've seen strikes, but some people are still adamant to change. Perhaps if you know the reason as to why they're not changing, we'll know how to address them and seek the environment saved. Why? Let's look at young people, because they have been leading the movement. So why are some people adamant to actually embracing this drive to see that we save this environment and planet?
I would say one of the things why people are still the way they are is because they have not appreciated how much the environment contributes to our development as a country. They have not spent a lot of time trying to explore what nature, what wildlife, what, clean environment is. How having, good health in terms of having a clean environment also looks like. And I think if they don't really appreciate what value the environment costs to them. Because, look, someone asked me one time, we sing wetlands and people saying, no, government should chase people from wetland, what, and all those things. And you see, a wetland is, when water collects there, it reduces the speed of movement. When you see that Kampala floods, it's because Kampala, you look at its history, Kampala was basically a wetland area, moving to all those regions. You look at Nkede zone, some parts around, Machin and all Chibuye. And people really settled there. So if this water does not go to where it belongs, it will also look for a way. Water always looks for a way to move out. So it's just in this original path. But it's because us people settled in those regions. So unless we appreciate that, wetland contributes to, reducing the flow of water and see that it collects that water for some period of time as it tries to go back to the ground or where it belongs. So people just need to appreciate the simple actions or the simple things. The environment really helps us.
Now, 5 years, Earth Day.
50 years.
50 years.
Yes.
So why 50 first? Shadia, why 50?
Because it is 50 years. We are celebrating 50 years of the Earth
Advocating
Day.
for climate
Exactly.
and Earth Day. So what is this day? Is there a time we'll have Heaven Day, Earth Day? What is Earth Day?
Now, I would say every day is Earth Day. And I would say Earth Day is not just a day, it's a movement. A movement started in 1970. This movement started by people, we are young people actually. 20 million young people in the US went on the streets and said, no, enough is enough. And by then we used to have the Industrial Revolution. In 1970, everyone was up for profits, not for, it was not people and for people lives. It was about profits and how can they become rich and rich and rich. So young people say no. And now, next year, 2020, it's going to be a very big year for all of us. And a big year for us as a country. Because Earth Day has always been there, but people haven't really understood what exactly is Earth Day. So what we talk about Earth Day, we're talking about everyone being a citizen for the environment. Everyone waking up to tackle the climate
So
crisis.
in other words, Earth Day is about awareness?
Yes, no. So we shall be creating awareness in different. We have already been started up our build-up activities. We have been to Kanungu in Bwindi National Park. We cleaned the national park because it was a big concern. Because our gorillas were dying, our chimps which are there. So many lives are there in that forest. We have been to Gulu, where only the species called the beo is also coming to extinct. It's like a mahogany of they call it beo tree. We need to sensitize them and say, no, you see, this tree helps you, and when you leave it to where it belongs, these are the gains. And traditional leaders were backing us up. I say, yeah, young people are doing the right job. It also has a traditional attachment. So we feel this is important. So next year, April 22nd, always globally, over 1 billion people will celebrate the Earth Day.
You're ending 2019 with us here at Record Television, and
Yes.
our focus is climate change. What
Yes.
happened? So, Shadia, as we look at the World Earth Day, which people are you targeting, and what will you do and say now we've achieved as far as the Earth Day is concerned?
We are targeting everyone. Because climate is for all of us. The environment is for everyone. So everyone is targeted. Earth Day will involve everyone. It's like he said, it's a movement for environment. So everyone is invited. It's going to be a very big event. We are planning to have it in Jinja. Yeah, and we are going to invite everyone. It is free of charge. We are going to showcase about environment, about climate change. We are going to have
Different
very many
innovations.
activities.
So we shall be showing the different innovations that people are undertaking.
You're showing us as well the innovations that?
Yes, yeah. We need to, if we see these things, we should understand. Otherwise, if we keep talking, it will become a myth.
So these are, in the presentation, are you going to share the sustainable environment practices you talked about?
Yes, part of our partners, we are inviting everyone. We have invited government officials, we have invited traditional leaders. We are in touch with so many kings at the moment. We really want them on board because they do command a lot of respect where they belong. And when they speak, no one, you can't talk when the king speaks.
But I think Buganda has taken something. I see Buganda always when they go for Kwanjura, they plant trees.
And you need it everywhere.
You need
every community needs to do that. When you're going to get married, when you're doing anything you're celebrating, you get a new girlfriend, even if you're in chat. You also need to plant a tree and say,
what am I celebrating being divorced? These young people.
This tree is going to help you remember.
Remember what? Should we remember about the sad times?
Yeah, so
remember the sad times saving the environment.
Yes, so you see that when Recon TV is celebrating maybe 50 years, and then we plant 50 million trees, or it's something we remember. So we have some number of trees you planted when you're celebrating 50 years.
And also we are agents of climate.
Yes, so even the media, joins and says, we also contribute to the actions. So you find that it's next year, 2020, everyone think about it, and actually one of the things you're looking at, the new thing we have brought in this space is about the footprint for the future. As talking about food, how it's contributing to climate change. We are eating a lot of pizzas, we are killing a lot of animals. When you do celebrate, you say, but we also know that livestock contributes to 80% of the greenhouse gas emissions.
Climate change is real, and we are analyzing the changing trends in environment. And yes, it is the young people from the Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network, Derek Mugisha and Shadia Nachweru. Now, this is what is actually out there. If you've been given an opportunity, a minute or seconds to make your stand, to make your say as far as climate change is. I'll start with you, Derek.
I would suggest
make your appeal.
I would just say take action. Do the simple things that contribute to saving the planet.
As we wind up, what message do you have to people out there as far as climate change is concerned?
I would say just join up where you are. Come up in groups and do something. Because, one by one makes a bundle. We all need each other. We all need the planet. We also need ourselves. Because the planet can sustain itself when we are not there. But we cannot live without the planet.
Can't live minus the planet. Shadia, naturally, right in that camera, what is that one thing that is needed?
Basically to the youth, I would encourage them to join us. We have a Facebook page, Uganda Youth Biodiversity Network. You can join and become a volunteer for Earth Day Network. Join us in this cause and let us conserve our environment together.
Okay, yes, climate change is real. Analyzing the changing environmental trends. Do you know that it is just few hours left to cross over to 2020?
Yes.
Are you excited about the new year?
Absolutely, because as a network of young people, we have a busy 2020. It's going to I'm saying we are excited.
As Derek Mugisha,
yes.
Are you excited about 2020?
As Derek Mugisha, I have some fears going forward. Why? Because when the environment is not conserved, why should I even cross overnight
to 2020?
When the things are going to remain the same, so I need to see change. So my excitement will come only if I'm seeing people need to take actions.
I must tell you, as for me, I'm excited to get into 2020. There is the new electoral period. We'll see Uganda prepare to vote in 2021. We'll see the US presidential election come 2020. But unless otherwise, thank you for keeping it Daybreaker from the 1st of January 2019 to this day, the 31st.
How will you close there?
How do we?
How would you close there?
I'm closing the year by planting a tree.
Yes.
So I'll close the year by planting a tree, and I should challenge all of us. If you can't plant today, plant on first. If you are getting a new girlfriend, plant. It is important to plant the trees. As always say, it is this only planet you got, and we need to save it. My name is Stephen Mayombe. Thank you for keeping it Rico TV. Thank you for keeping it the Big Daybreaker show for the entire 2019. I wish you a happy 2019. This is my message to you, our viewers of the Daybreaker show. If there is something good you've learned, my time is done. Thank you. Yeah, nice.